Minister of Energy, and all the things which are very important for today's environment and paradigm. Sri Prem Surana ji, Professor R.S. Tiwari, Professor Deepak Bhatnagar, Professor M.M. Sharma, Professor Vimal Kaza, other dignitaries of the dais, my faculty members, and my dear friends, young friends, students. Well, first of all, before I go into the technical thing, I wish to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share dais with Dr. Jitendra Singh, a very well-read person. Rajasthan is very fortunate to have such a minister who is very well-read, very intelligent, and he understands the pulse of the masses. As he told, we have got a long association. He is a friend, also a relative, and we never talk on any one of the things. We always talk, house matters related with each other. But today when he gave a talk, he talked almost everything on the globe, and that shows that how much concerned he is about Rajasthan. Present, our problem is, besides the communication, the greenness of the communication, greenness of the energy. And he is the minister who is going to bring green energy to the country, to the world. It was considered that nuclear energy is green energy, but you see the effects at Japan. But solar energy is the green energy. Again, before I go, I just want to have a request to the Honorable Minister. Sir, your Rajasthan, particularly Jaipur, and your own district, Jhunjhunu, is full of experts on communications and microwaves. The few names which I can tell, that your RTU Vice Chancellor, R.P. Yadav, he is like a student to me. His PhD work was done in my lab. Professor Deepak Bhatnagar, Dr. Singh, Dr. R.S. Raju, Punia, Professor Abhinav Dinesh, they are the pure microwave experts and communication experts. Once I suggested to Professor Samant, who was the Vice Chancellor in such conference on it, that let us start a microwave center in Rajasthan, particularly in Jaipur. And that can be a center for, not only higher learning, but research. Wireless communication and microwave is the future of the country, future of the world. And Siri will support, and I will support in whatsoever capacity I am there. So, with this request to the Honorable Minister, let me come to my technical talk. It will be quite fast. See, it's mostly addressed to the youngsters. We need three things in life. Okay? Besides air, water, and food. One is love, another is energy, and the third one is communication. So, love I can't talk because, the Libya is getting bombed, Libyans are bombing each other, Egypt things happened, we have got a problem in Afghanistan, we have got a problem with our neighboring friends. So love is not left anywhere. So we will not talk about love. The next is energy. There is an acute shortage of energy, and that too we have got a need of clean energy. The Honorable Minister did talk about the energy, so I am not talking about the energy. The last one is communication, for which I can say that yes, I know a little bit about it. And communication means what? The communication word has come from the word communico, means share. You should whatsoever you share with other person, that's called communication. Okay? You can establish a communication even with a beautiful flower. You can communicate with each other. And when anything breaks, even there is a misunderstanding between husband and wife, between two friends, or between countries, we say there is a lack of communication. If you can't blame anything else, blame it to communication. And it's because of the advancement in the communication that today's the globe is called global village. In a village, if something happens in one house, everybody knows about it. The same situation has happened because of the communication in the world today. You see, something has happened in Japan, okay, tsunami. We knew within minutes in India. When the first earthquake was announced and that it was predicted the tsunami will come, most of the TV channels in Japan were ready with 100 cameras to take the photographs of the tsunami. So that's the power of communication. And many persons could leave and come out to the safer place. because of the communications and warning. And that's why today's world is called global village. Okay. And see, it's communication which has progressed more than anything else. It has brought us together. It has increased our knowledge. The telemedicine, the tele-education, which the Honorable Minister referred, it becomes a part and part of communication. Let us see what happened to communication. See, first it was telegraph communication, the telephone, and then came the wireless communication. You'll be surprised that Maxwell, who gave the first unified theory of in 1867, we were talking before the minister arrival about how microwaves and electromagnetic should be taught. They are taught by the four equations of Maxwell. Perhaps most of the persons do not know how Maxwell started. He made four equations of vector equations, and he made four scalar equations, which nobody knows about it. The scalar equation relates with the metaphysics, which our ancestors talked a lot. Then after Maxwell, he gave only the theory, no practical thing. Then in 1895, Sir J.C. Bose made millimeter wave antenna, horn antenna, first time without any theory, and he generated millimeter wave at 5 mm. He had an audacity to fire gun in the Lieutenant Governor, who was the Britisher, in his office across the wall, to show that yes, microwaves can penetrate or millimeter waves can penetrate. He was the first person who discussed the polarization of the light and polarization of the microwave. Okay, he made a detector using oxides. He used jute things, jute threads to make polarizers, and such a great person he was. Then came the Marconi in 1901. The first communication was established across the Atlantic, and mind it that it became quite popular. Marconi's radio. He opened a microwave company, and 1912 when the Titan ship was sink, because while talking to youngsters, all of you have seen the Titan movie. Okay, so the Titan ship when it sank, it was the Marconi's radio operators who got the first message. That's the importance of microwaves and importance of communication. The means of communications are traditions are telephone, telegraph. First telegraph came, then telephone came, radio came, and then TV came. The books, newspapers, they are some of the means of communication. Even road transport is also means of communication. So whatsoever you can share, the means for it is called communication. And these are the traditional ones. The not so traditional ones are wireless, Wi-Fi, ultra broadband, okay, mobile internet, mobile communications, mobile education. You add mobile against anything or tele against anything, it becomes wireless. You add E against anything, it comes under IT, information technology. Okay. And when you go for robotics, there are 6 degrees of freedom. But when it comes to communications, that to particular mobile communications, there are n number of degrees of freedom. You would like to communicate to somebody. You could be in air, you could be on a sea, you could be on a road, you could be in a house, you could be anywhere, and you would like to communicate with somebody. And that thing is possible with wireless communication only. The maximum advancement of all these technologies took place in 1991. And before 1991 it's only for governmental and military purposes that advancement took place. After the fall of mighty Soviet Union in 1991, all R&D took place for the societal and business purposes, which never took place earlier. The Second World War brought the revolutionary changes in electrical communications, radars, and the MIT Lincoln Laboratories. And mind it, in MIT Lincoln Laboratories, many Indians worked at that time. Actually, the waveguide theory which was generated by Silver, the basis was Sir J.C. Bose waveguide which he made it. In 1957, 4th October 1957, the first artificial satellite Sputnik was launched, and then started the era of communication through the space. In 60s, it further increased. I mean, by the time we returned to the communication satellite came somewhere in 68 only. But the GPS or Navstar started coming into picture. The positioning was being determined by using the satellites. Americans, they have got some psychological problem. Okay, And I mean, what generally public says that the Americans are paranoid. They were scared when the first Sputnik was launched. They were trying to find out what is the message inside the Sputnik. It had only 2 frequencies. So Johns Hopkins University applied physics lab, some 6 scientists worked to find out what is in that signal, and they could find out only the Doppler. And from Doppler they could find out pretty the orbit of the spacecraft. And mind it, that small thing, small observation gave an idea that if we can find out the orbit of the spacecraft, why not we find out the place of position of the observer itself if we know the orbit of the spacecraft very well. And that particular idea gave the birth to GPS or Navistar positioning system. Well, in the last 2 decades, lots of technological reversals have taken place. Perhaps none of you must have realized. And actually in the last century, so much of technological reversals have taken place that we can't imagine it. I mean, I suggest that the students should take a project on this one. What are the technological reversals took place? The phone which was wired, it was difficult to get the telephone lines, okay, has become wireless. Some of you must be having 2 mobiles in your pocket. The TV which was wireless started coming through the cable. In 70s, the first satellite was launched, okay. We had an RV station which was 100 feet diameter. And nobody, if you want to call USA, the call will go from Jaipur to Bombay, Bombay to RV through airless link, and then to the satellite. Today, each one of you are directly coming in contact with the satellite through your dish TV, VSATs. So that's a technological advancement. The copper wire which we were told that cannot take more than 9.4 kilobits of data is taking more than 2.4 megabits of data. In place of burying copper, we are burying the silica, optical fiber. We got capacity of terabytes. Many of the activities which were location specific, because of the communication has become the universal. They come to your bedroom. Like bank, you don't have to go to bank. You can do the banking sitting in your bedroom. Education, tele-education, you can do in your drawing room. Telemedicine, Honorable Minister mentioned it. Yes, it's a fact. ISRO's telemedicine program is very successful. And Rajasthan is one of the beneficiaries, and I am sure under the able guidance of the minister, things will spread further. College, you don't have to go to college. You can even see for GMAT, etc. You don't have to appear it. You can appear on the net. Entrance examination, you can appear on the net. That's the reversal of the technologies. Location specific things have lost their meaning. Wireless communication, because of its ease and last mile connection and mobility, has become the main carrier for communication. With new modulation techniques, data compression, bit information carrying capacity and efficiency has increased. Wireless communication affects every walk of your life. Today, if you find, and what are the things which are omnipresent and ubiquitous, you will find 2 things are there. One is the mobile set, handset, and another is antennas. You find antennas around the sky line of the city, of the village, everywhere you will find it. And the students are trying to go away with both the things. They don't want to study antennas and microwave. They don't want to touch the antenna and microwave with pole also. And they don't want to study communication. They want to go for coding. But mind it, when you have got so much of wireless communication, finally the engineers have to come from you only. Mobile and internet, they are popular independent of caste, financial status, or the geographical location. It starts with a TV remote in the house, mobile PCs in your pocket, mobile computers. Farmer switches his, petrol, his pump, his engine is switches in the port. There are 1100 million landlines. There are 512 to 770 million mobiles have increased in 2010, and increase is 143%. There are 258 million rural lines in India. That is increasing 31%. And the penetration is large, and it's all because of spread of education and the business. I am quoting the report given by Dr. Ansari, our Vice President, that there is a 98.5% enrollment in the schools, and there is an exponential growth of engineering colleges. Okay. But in spite of all these things, but I am really sad to say that in the land of J.C. Bose we did not make our own mobile. And you know why we did not make a mobile? Not that we did not have the capability,